Hello, this is a little presentation about my challenge assessment state machine. So first off, I started with creating a state transition diagram to lay out the path that I wanted to follow. My first step was start, and then I would go to the start in light. And then I needed an event to change myself from start in light. So this was a light to dark event. It was when the light threshold crossed from above the threshold to below. This ended up making me go into the light sensor state, and then this event that made me transfer into the pre-auto state was the light event being triggered again, and this was going to be coming from below the threshold to above, hence in dark to light. And this would trigger the red light to go on, and then I would be sitting in the pre-auto state. And then after a 5-second timer that was inside of the Arduino, not a delay, the delay could cause some problems that would end up missing code. After this happened, I went from the 5-second timer and I stepped into the auto mode, and I turned on the green light, and then I would run through the autonomous code, and inside of the autonomous code I had a little state machine. There was the ultrasonic sensor, and this would trigger if there was an object detected in it. I think I made mine from around 5 centimeters from the front of it. If it was triggered, a red light would trigger on and then come off. And then once that all was happening inside of this, it would end, and after this 2-minute timer, 2-minute and 5-second timer in all happened, I would step into the manual mode, and this would trigger a blue light coming on. This is a little circuit diagrams for my different sensors. The first one was a light sensor, and this is just a little circuit diagram from pin A0 is where I connected. Voltage was in the middle, and then ground's on the right. And the distance sensor was 5 volts right here, the VCC. The trig pin was connected to pin at PMW 11. And then the echo pin was at pin 12. And then ground obviously goes to ground. Then these were just the different lights I used. Pin 2 was to power the red one, pin 4 was the blue, pin 7 was the green, pin 8 was the white. And then my turn, the white or clear one ended up actually being red for mine. So here's a picture of my circuit. As you can see, there's the red, blue, green, and this one was white, but it is actually red. That's my light sensor. This is my ultrasonic distance sensor. So as I stated earlier, after the event occurred and it went from light to dark to light, the red LED would come on, and this would have a 5-second timer waiting before my robot code would actually start. And then once that happened, it would start and this green light would turn on. And while this green light was on, the ultrasonic distance sensor can be triggered, and this is a picture of what that would look like when it's happening. When I'd raise or move my hand in front of it and get it to the right threshold, it would cross and trigger this, turning this white or red light to come on. And after the full 2-minute and 5-second timer ends, this blue light would come on. It's really bright light. Kind of hard to get a picture of it. But this would signify that I was going to be switching into manual mode, which is important for the robot code for later down the road. So this is just a quick little overview of my code. I created different variable names for my different states. First was start and light, then light sensor, then pre-auto, then manual mode. This is my pin layouts. As you can see, they match what I previously talked about of all the different pins earlier. And then this is the timer that I started. You can see what it's actually called down here with the analog read, the light sensor pin, which was A0. And then this is the light threshold crossing from below to above, or above to below, and then below above. And then this is the code for the ultrasonic sensor to be triggered, and I had to put a little delay in there just so that it wasn't freaking out and creating bad readings. And then yeah, I was a 5 to 10 centimeter range was where I was triggering. So my light threshold value was 10. It changed to a different value. It would change to a different value depending on what different light sensors you'd be using. In my case, it was a really low threshold, and my light sensor only got up to like around 40, which you can see in my testing. Yeah, the highest was only around 40, and then if it was dark, it was really low. Like 8 was the highest that you could see, but that could have also been when I was raising my hand back up. And then these are the distance sensors that I used to just try and calibrate, see how far I wanted to get and how close I could get. The 168 was me reading the wall, which is a fairly far point from where I was. And then the 7, 16, 6, and 4 were when I was moving my hand into and away from my ultrasonic sensor. So back to my code. This is just a little step through of my state transition diagram in the code version instead of in the state transition diagram that I created by hand. So I'd first do this, and then if this sensor is triggered and this event happens, then it'll step in, go to the next state, and then the same thing with this one. If this happens, it'll turn on this red LED, and it'll start a timer, and this is the 5-second wait, and then once that 5-second wait time starts, or happens, after it's already been set into the pre-auto mode, once this 5-second time expires, it's going to turn off the red light, turn on the green LED for go, and then step into the auto mode. And then whenever I'm in the auto mode, if the ultrasonic distance sensor is triggered, the white LED goes on. If not, it's going to be off. And it was just kind of a waiting game until I hit the 2-minute timer. And once the 2-minute timer is hit, it steps into the manual mode. The green LED I set to off, indicating I'm no longer in the autonomous mode. And the blue LED would come on, signifying that I'm in the manual mode. And I would also turn off the white LED if it was somehow stuck on, just to make make there no imperfections with the code. And these are just the different events that I created. And that is it. Thank you.